Part 5, Together at Last. The battle began at noon. Taiho watched from the observation deck as enemy ships filled the sky. There were hundreds of them, just as the scouts had said. They looked like angry insects swarming toward their prey. In the middle of it all, one small ship flew forward. Yuna's ship. She was leading the enemy into the asteroid field. Her ship darted left and right, dodging missiles and laser fire. Behind her, dozens of enemy ships gave chase. They were so focused on her that they did not see the trap. The asteroids closed around them, like a giant mouth. Explosions filled the darkness. Enemy ships crashed into rocks. They crashed into each other. The Council's hidden fighters came out from behind the asteroids and attacked from all sides. It was working. Yuna's plan was working, but the enemy was not stupid. They realized the trap and began to pull back. Their leader, a massive ship called the Shadow King, stayed behind the asteroid field. It fired a huge beam of light directly at Yun. Ho saw the beam hit her ship. No! He screamed. Yuna's ship spun out of control. Smoke poured from its engines. It crashed into an asteroid and disappeared from view. Taiho ran. He did not know where he was going. He just ran. Through the hallways, past the crowds of people, toward the docking bay. He had to get to her. He had to save her. Stop! A guard shouted. You cannot go out there. Taiho did not stop. He pushed past the guard and jumped into a small transport ship. He had never flown a ship before, but he had watched Yuna do it many times. How hard can it be? Very hard, it turned out. The ship lurched and spun as Taiho grabbed the controls. Warning lights flashed everywhere. The computer screamed at him in a language he did not understand, but he did not care. He would crash 1,000 ships if it meant saving Yuna. Somehow, he made it to the asteroid field. Enemy ships were everywhere, but they were too busy fighting the Council's forces to notice one tiny transport. Taiho flew between the rocks, searching for Yuna's crashed ship. He found it wedged between two asteroids. The ship was destroyed, broken in half. No one could survive that crash, but Taiho refused to believe it. He landed nearby and put on a spacesuit. He climbed out of his ship and floated toward the wreckage. The silence of space was terrifying. No sound, no air. Just the cold emptiness of the universe. Yuna. He called through his radio. Yuna, can you hear me? No answer. He searched the wreckage with his hands. Broken metal, shattered glass, sparking wires. And then, under a pile of debris, he saw something. A hand. A blue hand. Taiho dug frantically. His suit was not made for heavy work. The gloves were thin. His fingers started to bleed. But he kept digging. Finally, he found her. Yuna was alive. Barely. Her armor was cracked and broken. Her helmet was gone. Blood floated in tiny droplets around her head. Her silver eyes were closed. Yuna. Taiho held her face in his hands. Wake up, please wake up. Her eyes opened slowly. They were dim now, not bright like before. Taiho. Her voice was weak through the radio. What are you doing here? Saving you, stupid. Yuna laughed, but it turned into a cough. You are the stupid one. You cannot fly a ship. I can fly a ship. I just cannot land one very well. You will get us both killed. Then we die together. Taiho started pulling her out of the wreckage. I am not leaving without you. He carried her back to his transport. It was hard work in zero gravity. She was heavy in her damaged armor. But he did not stop. He did not rest. He kept moving until she was safely inside. The battle was still raging outside. Explosions lit up the darkness. Ships flew past them, fighting and dying. But Taiho focused only on flying. Somehow, they made it back to the station. The doctors took Yuna immediately. They rushed her to the medical center while Taeho stood in the hallway, covered in blood and sweat. He watched them disappear through the doors. Then his legs gave out, and he collapsed to the floor. Hours passed. Days passed. Taeho lost track of time. The battle was won. The Dark Fleet was destroyed. The Shadow King was captured. Everyone called it a great victory, but Taeho did not care about victories. He only cared about one thing. Finally, a doctor came to see him. She was a small alien with purple skin and kind eyes. "She will live," the doctor said. Tae-ho started crying. He could not stop. All the fear and worry and hope came pouring out of him in waves of tears. "She is asking for you," the doctor added. Taeho ran to the medical room. Yuna was lying in a white bed. Her armor was gone. She was wrapped in bandages from head to toe. But her silver eyes were open, and they found him immediately. "You came," she said. "I told you I would." Taeho sat beside her bed. He took her hand in his. It was warm, alive. "You are insane," Yuna said. "You flew into a battle with no training. You crashed your ship. You almost died saving me." "Yes. Why?" "Because I love you." Taeho squeezed her hand. "And because you asked me to remember you as a woman, not a warrior. I could not let that memory be my last." Yuna's eyes filled with tears. Stupid human. Stupid Valoran. She pulled him close and kissed him. It was soft and sweet, tasting of tears and relief. "When I recover," Yuna said, "I am going to train you properly. No more excuses. You will learn to fight and fly and survive. Why? Because I plan to keep you for a long time. And I need you to stay alive." Taeho smiled. "That sounds like a proposal. Maybe it is." Yuna touched his face gently. "On my planet, when a warrior finds a partner worth keeping, they bond for life. No breaking up. No divorce. Just two souls becoming one. That sounds serious." "It is very serious." Her silver eyes looked into his. "Do you want to be my partner, Taeho? Forever?" Taeho did not need to think. He had known the answer since the day they met. "Yes," he said. "Forever?" They lay together in that hospital bed, holding each other tight. Outside, the galaxy continued to spin. Wars would come and go. Empires would rise and fall. A million stories would begin and end, but this story was theirs. A human who could not lie and a warrior who had never been loved. Two broken people who found each other in the cold darkness of space. Yun rested her head on Taeho's chest. She could hear his heartbeat, steady and strong. "Do you remember what you said when we first met?" she asked. "I told you to remove your armor." "Yes." She smiled against his chest. "And now I have." Taeho kissed the top of her head. "Was it worth the wait?" "More than I could ever say." And in the quiet of that hospital room, with stars twinkling through the window and the promise of a future together, Taeho knew one thing for certain. Sometimes saying what you are thinking can change your entire life, even if it is the most embarrassing thing in the world. The end. Part 4. The battle within the attack on the station was not random. It was planned by an enemy called the Dark Fleet. They were pirates who hated the Galactic Council. They wanted to destroy everything the Council had built, and they were coming back with a bigger army. Tae-ho learned this during an emergency meeting. All the important people on the station gathered in the command center. Generals, scientists, diplomats. And Yuna, the greatest warrior they had. "Our scouts report over 200 enemy ships," the station commander said. He was a large alien with green skin and 4 arms. His name was Commander Rox. "They will arrive in 3 days." 3 days? One of the diplomats shouted. "We cannot defend against that many ships." "We have called for help from the Council," Commander Rox said calmly. but they are far away. They might not arrive in time. The room exploded with arguments. Everyone was talking at once. Some wanted to run. Some wanted to fight. Some wanted to surrender. No one agreed on anything. Tay-Ho stood in the corner, feeling useless. He was not a soldier. He had no right to be in this meeting. But Yuna had asked him to come, so he came. Yuna stood up. The room went quiet. Everyone respected her, even the highest generals. "We will fight," she said. Her voice was like ice. "Running is not an option. If we run, they will chase us. If we surrender, they will kill us anyway. Our only chance is to stand and fight." "But we do not have enough soldiers," someone argued. "Then we will make every soldier count." Yuna looked around the room with her silver eyes. "I have a plan." Her plan was simple but dangerous. Instead of fighting the enemy in open space, they would draw them into the asteroid field nearby. The asteroids would make it hard for the big enemy ships to move. They could pick them off one by one, but someone had to lead the enemy into the trap. Someone had to fly a ship directly into the asteroid field while hundreds of enemy ships chased them. "I will do it," Yuna said. "No." Tay-Ho spoke before he could stop himself. Everyone turned to look at him. He felt his face burn with embarrassment, but he did not back down. "That is suicide? You will die." "It is my duty," Yuna replied. Her voice was calm, but Tay-Ho could see something in her eyes. Fear? Sadness? He could not tell. "Find another way," Tay-Ho begged. "There must be another way." "There is not." The meeting ended. The decision was made. In 3 days, Yuna would fly into death to save everyone else. That night, Tay-Ho could not sleep. He lay in his bed, staring at the ceiling. His mind was racing. There had to be something he could do. Some way to help. But what? A knock came at his door. He opened it. Yuna stood there, not wearing her armor. Just simple clothes and her long white hair falling around her shoulders. She looked smaller without the armor. "More human. Can I come in?" she asked. Tay-Ho stepped aside. Yuna walked into his tiny room. She looked around at his few belongings. Books about alien languages. Photos of his family. A small plant he was trying to keep alive. "You keep your room clean," she said. "My mother taught me." Tay-Ho closed the door. "Yuna, about the mission." "I do not want to talk about the mission." She turned to face him. "I want to talk about something else." "What?" Yuna walked closer. She was right in front of him now. Her silver eyes looked directly into his. "I have never been afraid of death," she said. "I have faced it many times. Welcomed it, even. Death was an old friend to me. And now? Now I am afraid." Her voice cracked slightly. "For the first time in my life, I do not want to die. Because now I have something to live for." Tay-Ho understood. He felt the same way. He reached out and took her hands in his. They were warm and soft without the armor gloves. "Then do not die," he said simply. "It is not that easy. It is that easy." Tay-Ho squeezed her hands. "You are the strongest person I know. You have survived 100 battles. You will survive this one too. You have too much faith in me." "No, I have exactly the right amount of faith in you." Yuna smiled. It was a sad smile, but beautiful. "You know," she said, "when we first met, you asked me to remove my armor. Do you remember what I said? You said maybe someday, if I earned it. Have you earned it?" Tay-Ho's heart stopped. Was she saying what he thought she was saying? "I do not know," he admitted. "Have I?" Yuna did not answer with words. Instead, she reached up and began to undo the buttons of her shirt. One by one, they came apart. The fabric fell away, revealing her blue skin underneath. Tay-Ho watched, frozen. He could not move. He could barely breathe. "I want you to remember this," Yuna said softly. "Remember me like this. Not as a warrior, not as a weapon, just as a woman who loved someone for the first time in her life." Loved? The word caught in his throat. Yes. Yuna stepped even closer. Her body was warm against his. "I love you, Taeho. I do not know how it happened. I do not know why. But I do." Taeho felt tears in his eyes. He had never cried in front of anyone before. But this was different. This was too much. "I love you too," he said. The words came out easily, naturally, like they had been waiting his whole life to be spoken. Yuna kissed him. This time, it was not gentle. It was desperate, hungry, like she was trying to fit a lifetime of love into a single moment. They held each other through the night. They talked about everything and nothing. Dreams they had, places they wanted to see, children they might have had in another life. When morning came, Yuna got out of bed. She put on her armor piece by piece. Taeho watched her transform from the woman he loved into the warrior the galaxy needed. "I have to go," she said. "I know." She walked to the door, then stopped. "Taeho." "Yes?" "If I do not come back, promise me something. Anything. Live. Go back to Earth. Fall in love again. Have children. Grow old." Her silver eyes were bright with unshed tears. "Do not waste your life crying for me." Taeho walked to her. He put his hands on her armored shoulders. "I will not promise that," he said, "because you will come back, and we will do all those things together." Yuna smiled through her tears. Stubborn human, stubborn Valoran. They kissed one last time. Then Yuna walked out the door. Taeho stood alone in his room. Outside the window, ships were preparing for battle. The enemy was coming. Death was coming. But Taeho refused to give up hope. Because hope was all he had left. Part 3. Growing closer. Weeks passed on the space station. Every day, Taeho trained with Yuna. Every day, he grew a little stronger. His arms no longer shook when he held the training stick. His legs no longer trembled when he moved. He was still far from being a warrior, but he was not completely helpless anymore. But something else was growing too. Something between him and Yuna. At first, their conversations were short. Simple questions and answers about training, about technique, about form. But slowly, they began to talk about other things. Their homes, their families, their dreams. Taeho learned that Yuna grew up without parents. They died in a war when she was young. She was raised by the military, trained from childhood to be a weapon. She had never known kindness or love, only duty and discipline. "Is that why you became a warrior?" Taeho asked one day after training. "I did not choose to become one," Yuna said. She was cleaning her real sword, a beautiful blade that glowed with blue light. "It was chosen for me. On Valora, children with strong gifts are taken by the army. We do not get a choice. That sounds unfair. It is what it is." Yuna put down the sword. "I used to hate it. But now, fighting is all I know. It is who I am." Taeho sat beside her. Their shoulders almost touched. "I think you are more than just a warrior." "What do you mean?" "You are kind. You are patient. You teach me even though I am terrible. You listen to my stupid stories about Earth. You laugh at my bad jokes. Those are not things a cold weapon does." Yuna was quiet for a long time. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely above a whisper. "No one has ever said such things to me before." "Then everyone else is blind," Taeho said simply. Yuna turned to look at him. Her silver eyes were soft now, not hard like before. She looked almost vulnerable. "Almost human? What am I to you, Taeho?" She asked. The question caught him off guard. What was she to him? A teacher? A friend? Something more? I do not know, he admitted. But I know that I look forward to seeing you every day. When we are apart, I think about you. When we are together, I feel happy. Is that strange? No, Yuna said. It is not strange. I feel the same way. Taeho's heart jumped. She felt the same way? Was this really happening? Before he could say anything else, alarms started blaring throughout the station. Red lights flashed on the walls. A loud voice spoke through the speakers. Warning. Unknown ships approaching. All personnel to battle stations. Yuna was on her feet instantly. The soft look in her eyes disappeared. Now she was a warrior again, cold and focused. Stay here, she commanded. Do not leave this room. What is happening? I do not know yet, but it is not good. She grabbed her armor from the corner and started putting it on. Piece by piece, the black metal covered her body. Within seconds, she was transformed from a woman into a machine of war. Will you be okay? Taeho asked. He felt helpless. All his training meant nothing in a real battle. Yuna paused at the door. She looked back at him with those glowing silver eyes. Wait for me, she said. I will come back. Then she was gone. Taeho paced the training room nervously. Through the windows, he could see lights flashing outside. Ships were fighting in the darkness of space. Explosions bloomed like flowers, then faded away. He wanted to do something, anything. But what could he do? He was just a translator. A man of words in a world of war. The battle lasted for hours. Taeho sat by the window and watched. Sometimes friendly ships flew past. Sometimes enemy ships did. He saw one of the station's towers get hit by a missile. Fire and smoke poured out. Then, the emergency systems kicked in, and the fire died. Finally, the alarms stopped. The red lights turned back to normal white. The voice on the speakers announced that the enemy had retreated. Taeho ran to the door. He had to find Yuna. He had to know if she was safe. The hallways were chaos. Injured aliens were being carried to the medical center. Soldiers ran past with weapons in their hands. Smoke filled the air in some sections. Taeho searched everywhere. The command center, the docking bay, the weapon rooms. But Yuna was nowhere to be found. Then he heard someone call his name. Taeho. He turned around. Yuna was walking toward him. Her armor was damaged. There were burn marks and cuts all over it. One of her arms was bleeding through a hole in the metal, but she was alive. Taeho ran to her. Without thinking, he wrapped his arms around her. He held her tight, not caring about the hard armor, not caring about anything except the fact that she was here. You are hurt, he said. His voice was shaking. It is nothing. Yuna sounded tired but calm. Just a small wound. Small? You are bleeding. I have had worse. But she did not push him away. Instead, she leaned into his embrace. Her head rested on his shoulder. They stood like that in the middle of the crowded hallway. Aliens walked past them, staring with confusion. A human and a Valoran warrior, holding each other like lovers. It was a strange sight, but Taeho did not care what anyone thought. I was worried about you, he whispered. I know. Yuna pulled back slightly to look at his face. I could feel your thoughts, even from far away. They were calling out to me, hoping I would be safe, hoping I would return. Could you really feel them? Yes. Your mind is very loud, remember? She smiled weakly. It gave me strength, knowing that someone was waiting for me, someone who cared. Taeho touched her face gently. Her blue skin was warm under his fingers. Of course I care, he said. I think I more than care. I think I might. He stopped himself. The words were too big, too scary. He was not ready to say them yet, but Yuna heard them anyway. Her gift showed her what he could not speak. "I know," she said softly. "I feel the same." She leaned forward and pressed her lips against his. The kiss was gentle, almost careful, like she was afraid he might break. Taiho had kissed women before, but this was different. This was like lightning striking his soul. Every nerve in his body came alive when they pulled apart. Both of them were breathing hard. "Your armor," Taiho said. "You should take it off so I can treat your wound." Yuna laughed. It was a real laugh, full of warmth and joy. "Is that an excuse?" she asked. "Another way to ask me to remove my armor?" Taiho felt his face turn red. "No!" "I mean, yes, but not like that. I mean, I know what you mean." Yuna took his hand in hers. Her armored fingers were cold but firm. "Come, help me to my quarters. I will let you play doctor for today." They walked through the damaged station together, hand in hand. Around them, the galaxy continued to spin. Wars were being fought. Empires were rising and falling. A million stories were happening at once, but for Taiho, there was only one story that mattered, and it was just beginning. Part 2. The training begins. Taiho could not sleep that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Yuna's face. He heard his own stupid words over and over again. "Remove your armor." What kind of person says that to someone they just met? A dead person, that was who died, but Yuna had not killed him. She had laughed. She had actually laughed at his embarrassing mistake. And then she had invited him to train with her. What did that mean? Taiho rolled over in his small bed. The room given to him was tiny. It had a bed, a desk, and a small window that showed the stars outside. Back on Earth, he had a bigger apartment. But here, on this alien space station, he was lucky to have anything at all. The morning came slowly. Taiho got up, washed his face, and put on his uniform. It was a simple gray suit with Earth's symbol on the chest. He looked at himself in the mirror. He saw an ordinary man. Brown eyes, black hair, average height. Nothing special. Why would someone like Yuna want to spend time with him? He walked to the training room with heavy steps. The station was busy now. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved through the hallways. Some had scales, others had fur. Some walked on 2 legs, others on 4. A few floated in the air. Taiho still found it amazing, even after 3 months. The training room was at the end of a long corridor. The door was massive, made of thick metal. Taiho touched the panel beside it, and the door slid open. The room inside was huge. It was as big as a football field. The floor was covered with soft blue material. Strange weapons hung on the walls. There were swords, spears, and things Taiho could not even name. And in the center of the room stood Yuna. She was not wearing her armor today. Instead, she wore simple training clothes. A tight black shirt and loose pants. Her blue skin seemed to glow under the lights. Her white hair was tied back in a long ponytail. Taiho forgot how to breathe. She was even more beautiful without the armor. Her body was lean and strong. Her muscles moved under her skin like water. She looked like a goddess of war. "You came," Yuna said. "You invited me," Taiho replied. His voice was dry. Yuna smiled slightly. Most beings would have been too scared to come. After saying what you said, they would hide forever. "I thought about hiding," Taiho admitted. "But I decided that would be worse. If I am going to die, I should face it with dignity." "Die?" Yuna walked toward him slowly. "Why would you die?" "Because I disrespected you. I said something inappropriate. Where I come from, that can get you in serious trouble." Yuna stopped in front of him. She was close enough to touch. Her silver eyes looked into his brown ones. "Do you know why I asked you to speak your thoughts?" she asked. "Because you wanted to understand humans?" "Partly," Yuna said. But there is another reason. For years, I have been surrounded by liars. Politicians who smile while they plan to betray you. Soldiers who pretend to be brave but shake with fear inside. Lovers who say sweet words but think of others. She touched her chest where her heart would be. My gift lets me see the truth. I see what beings really think. And what they really think is usually ugly, selfish, cruel. Taeho nodded slowly. He could imagine how hard that would be. To always know what people really thought about you. But you, Yuna continued, you are different. Your thoughts are honest. Yes, you thought something inappropriate about me. But you did not try to hide it. You did not cover it with sweet lies. You just said it. I did not mean to say it, Taeho said quickly. It just came out. That is what makes it beautiful, Yuna said. For the first time in many years, I met someone who cannot lie. Your mind is too open, too pure. You feel what you feel, and you cannot hide it. Taeho felt his face grow hot. I am not sure that is a good thing. It is the best thing, Yuna said firmly. In a galaxy full of liars, you are like fresh water in a desert. She stepped back and picked up 2 wooden sticks from the floor. She threw one to Taeho. He caught it clumsily. Now, Yuna said, I will teach you to fight. Me? Taeho looked at the stick in his hands. I have never fought anyone before. I know. I saw your records. You are a translator. A man of words, not weapons. Then why teach me? Yuna smiled. It was a real smile this time, warm and bright. Because you will need to defend yourself. The galaxy is dangerous. And I do not want you to die before I understand you completely. The training began. It was the hardest thing Taeho had ever done. Yuna showed him how to hold the stick properly, how to stand, how to move. Every movement hurt. His arms grew tired. His legs shook. Sweat poured down his face. But Yuna was patient. She corrected his mistakes gently. She showed him the same move again and again. She never grew angry or frustrated. You learn fast, she said after an hour. For a human, you are not bad. For a human? Taeho wiped sweat from his eyes. Is that a compliment? Take it how you want. They rested by the wall. Taeho drank water from a bottle while Yuna sat beside him. She did not seem tired at all. Can I ask you something? Taeho said, yes. Yesterday, when I said that thing, you were not angry? Yuna thought for a moment. I was surprised. No one has ever said something like that to me before. Most beings are too afraid of me. I was afraid too, Taeho said. But my mouth moved faster than my brain. That is what I like about you. Yuna looked at him sideways. You are afraid, but you still came here. You are weak, but you still try to learn. You make mistakes, but you do not run away. That is real courage. Taeho did not know what to say. No one had ever called him courageous before. On my planet, Yuna continued, warriors are taught to hide their feelings. We must be cold, hard, like stone. Emotions are weakness. That is what they told us. That sounds lonely. It is. Yuna's voice became soft. Very lonely. They sat in silence for a while. Outside the window, stars moved slowly past. Somewhere out there, Earth was spinning. Taeho's family was probably asleep right now. His mother, his father, his little sister. They had no idea what kind of strange adventure he was having. Tomorrow, Yuna said, standing up, we train again. Same time, I will be here. Yuna walked toward the door. But before she left, she stopped and looked back. Taeho, she said. Yes? About what you said yesterday. About my armor. She paused. Her cheeks seemed to turn a slightly darker shade of blue. Maybe someday, I will grant your request. But you must earn it first. She walked out before Tahoe could respond. He sat there alone, his heart pounding. Did she just say what he thought she said? Was this a joke? A test? Or was it something more? One thing was certain. His life on this space station had just become a lot more interesting. Part 1. The accidental words. The space station was cold and quiet. Tahoe walked through the metal hallways alone. He was the only human on this station. The Galactic Council had sent him here as a representative of Earth. It was a big job for a simple man from Sol. Ho was not a soldier. He was not a scientist. He was just a translator who happened to be good with alien languages. The council thought humans were interesting. They wanted to study them. So they brought Tahoe here to learn about his kind. 3 months had passed since he arrived. Most aliens ignored him. Some looked at him with curiosity. Others looked at him with disgust. Humans were new to the galaxy. Many species did not trust him, yet today was different. Today, Tahoe had to meet someone important. Her name was Una. She was a warrior from a planet called Valora. The Valorans were famous in the galaxy. They were tall, strong, and beautiful. Their skin was pale blue, and their eyes glowed like stars. But the most interesting thing about them was their gift. They could read minds. Tahoe stood outside the meeting room. His heart was beating fast. He had heard stories about Una. She was the best warrior in the Valoran army. She had won 100 battles. She had killed 1,000 enemies. And now, she was coming to this station to work with him. The door opened with a soft sound. Tahoe stopped breathing. Una walked into the room. She was taller than him by a full head. Her body was covered in black armor from neck to toe. The armor looked heavy, but she moved like it weighed nothing. Her long white hair fell down her back like a waterfall. Her silver eyes looked at him without any emotion. She was the most beautiful thing Tahoe had ever seen. "You are the human," Una said. Her voice was cold and sharp. "Yes," Tahoe said. His voice was weak. He cleared his throat and tried again. "Yes, I am Tahoe. I am honored to meet you." Una walked around him slowly. She was studying him like he was a strange animal. Tahoe felt very small under her gaze. "Humans are weak," Una said. "Your bodies are soft. Your bones break easily. You cannot survive in space without machines. Why did the council send you here?" "I am a translator," Tahoe said. "I speak 12 alien languages." "Words," Una said with disgust. "Words are useless in battle." Tahoe did not know what to say. She was right. He was useless in a fight. He had never held a weapon in his life. Una stopped in front of him. She looked down at his face. Her silver eyes seemed to look through him, into his very soul. "I have a question, human," she said. "Please, ask anything." Una tilted her head to one side. "My people can read minds, but humans are different. Your thoughts are strange. They are loud and messy. I cannot understand them clearly." Tahoe felt his face become hot. She could see his thoughts. What had she seen? He tried to make his mind blank, but it was impossible. The harder he tried, the more thoughts came rushing in. "Your mind is very noisy," Una said. "It is like a storm in there." "I am sorry," Tahoe said quickly. "I will try to control it." "Do not apologize," Una said. "It is interesting. Most species have simple thoughts. Food, sleep, fear. But humans think about everything at once. Past, present, future. Dreams, memories, wishes. It is fascinating." Tahoe did not know if that was a compliment or an insult. Una leaned closer to him. Her face was just inches from his. He could smell her scent. It was like flowers after rain. His heart started beating faster. "Say what you are thinking, human," Una said. "What?" Tahoe asked. I want to understand you better, Yuna explained. So speak your thoughts out loud. Do not hide anything. Tell me exactly what is in your mind right now. Taeho's brain went into panic mode. What was he thinking? He was thinking about her eyes, her hair, her lips, and her armor. That heavy black armor that covered every inch of her perfect body. He was wondering what she looked like without a dot. No. He could not say that. Taeho said, I am thinking about the weather. Yuna frowned. There is no weather on a space station. You are lying. I am not lying. I am just... Say the truth, Yuna commanded. Her voice was harder now. I can feel your thoughts. They are burning like fire. What are you really thinking? Taeho opened his mouth to say something safe. Something polite. Something that would not get him killed by the most dangerous warrior in the galaxy. But his brain betrayed him. Remove your armor, he said. The words came out before he could stop them. They hung in the air like poison. Yuna's silver eyes went wide. Her mouth opened slightly. For the first time, she looked surprised. Taeho wanted to die. Right there, right then. He wanted the floor to open up and swallow him whole. He wanted to travel back in time and cut out his own tongue. I am so sorry, he said quickly. I did not mean to say that. Please forget it. I was not thinking clearly. I was thinking, but I did not want to say it. It just came out. Please do not kill me. He closed his eyes and waited for the pain. He waited for her blade to cut him in half. He waited for his short, embarrassing life to end. But nothing happened. He opened one eye slowly. Yuna was still standing there. She was looking at him with an expression he could not understand. Was it anger? Disgust? Or something else? Then she did something that shocked him completely. She laughed. It was not a big laugh. It was small and quiet. But it was real. Her silver eyes sparkled with amusement. Her cold face became warm for just a moment. You are very honest, Yuna said. I asked for your true thoughts, and you gave them. Most beings would have lied. They would have hidden their desires. But you could not. Your mind is too pure. Pure? Taeho repeated. I just asked you to take off your clothes. That is not pure. That is the opposite of pure. No, Yuna said. You spoke without shame. That takes courage. Foolish courage, but courage still. She turned around and walked toward the door. Her white hair swayed behind her. We will work well together, human, she said without looking back. Tomorrow, meet me in the training room. I want to learn more about your kind. The door closed behind her. Taeho stood alone in the empty room. His legs felt weak. His hands were shaking. He had just said the most embarrassing thing possible to the most dangerous woman in the galaxy. And somehow, he was still alive. Maybe humans were not as weak as everyone thought. Or maybe he was just very, very lucky.